invest in your future, my friend.
This sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes, thank you. You will get rich quick. We all will.
Hello. Hi everyone, welcome to my live stream. What is up, chat? Yes, raise your hand if you want to get rich.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich.
We're all here for the same reason, let's be honest. Tonight we're going to learn the secret to building, I believe it's a $2,000 business, $100,000, no, $2,000, $200,000, or $2 million business. So I'm excited. I don't know about you. Oh, sorry, buddy. I've been hoarding the dog treats this whole time. So if you saw my Instagram reel yesterday, I got a new puppy, but she just went for a walk. So I think she's going to be taking a nap, but maybe we'll be able to show you the puppy at some point. But for now, we go to sweet little baby Bubba, and I changed the comforter. I got some feedback that no one could see the dog. So I changed the comforter to a lighter color so that hopefully we can see Bubba now. Okay. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? You can let me know in the chat. Hello, Lisa. I know Lori said she wasn't going to be able to make it today. Lori, if you're watching the replay, I hope you feel better soon. Sina, Rosie, Jolene, Harrison, welcome, welcome, welcome. Awesome. Hillary's here. Hillary's excited for this one, so I'm excited. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I just like to have the stream open on my iPad so I can make sure I'm not missing anything. Rolson Jacobot says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Which actually, that reminds me, the 12 Days of Coachmas starts tomorrow. If you're a member on my channel, you should already have access to day one. And essentially, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the 12 Days of Coachmas is me basically reacting to or commenting on various content and concepts within the coaching industry. Everything from the copy-paste phenomenon that we've talked about time and time again. We're looking at certain coaches who are closing down their businesses. We're going to be looking at MLM coaching, health coaching, all sorts of stuff. And if you have any content specifically that you want me to react to within the 12 days, just make sure to submit it to the reaction form, which is linked in the description of this video. So, all that aside, first video will be out tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific for those of you that are not members. And then it'll be every day until Christmas. So excited for that. Excited to get started today. Beverage of choice, we have LaCroix. I don't know. LaCroix, I think. Anyway, mango flavored. Should be pretty good. Today we're going to be talking about who I believe, and you can correct me in the comments, those of you that know more than I do. Hillary, I'm looking at you. One of Brooke Castillo's original students, perhaps, trusted confidants, friends, colleagues. I know Stacey Boehman to be at the top or near the top of the coaching pyramid. Between like her and Tanya Lee, I believe like they're kind of equivalents. Like it's like Brooke at the top and then they fall under Brooke. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, very excited to dive into this. Ooh, that sounds good. Lindsay, did you make a trip to America? Target. I miss Target. We used to have it here, but now it's gone. Okay. So yeah, what am I saying? Today we're going to be looking at Stacey Boehman. We're going to look through her website. We'll listen to an episode of her podcast. I guess there was some like controversy she was involved in a couple of months ago. So we're going to read through that on Reddit a little bit and kind of go from there. Okay, Hillary says she was in Brooke's priciest mastermind. Got it. Okay, so yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit of intel. Essentially, all you need to know, as you can tell by the thumbnail of this stream, she teaches life coaches how to make money. And me not knowing anything about this woman, I'm going to assume that the way she teaches life coaches how to make money is through getting them to sign up for their own really expensive coaching program and ultimately just coaching other coaches to coach coaches. I'm going to assume that she herself became a millionaire. I'm assuming she's a millionaire from coaching other coaches. So yeah, we're going to get into that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we're having a bit of a crazy moment behind me, but we'll carry on nonetheless. Let me just switch screens here. Perfect. Did you drop your toy? Oh no, it's right here. What's up? Okay, so welcome. Here it is. And if you're watching this video and you're one of, Brooke Castillo's trusted fans and followers, hi. Maybe you should pull up a chair and have a listen. Welcome, Richard. Welcome, best channel on YouTube. Happy to have you here. And no worries if you can't stay the whole time. That's all good. Where are you going, buddy? Oh, no. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So this is the homepage of Stacey Boehman's website. It says, my name is Stacey Boehman. I help life coaches make money. Click here to start making money. And that's it. That's the entire homepage. So unlike most of the other coaches we've looked at where they have this like novel long story listing all of their offers, very, very simple homepage. So from a design perspective, I actually respect this. However, it pretty much ends there. Let's take a look at the About page because this is interesting. Is it? Not really. So, I started out selling ShamWow in Walmart. I was the true school of hard knock selling. I've sold everything from a 1999 cleaning product in Walmart to a $36,000 coaching package to entrepreneurs. To entrepreneurs or to coaches? There's a difference, okay? So when I tell you that I will teach you how to sell anything to anyone, I mean it. For 7 years, I was one of the best pitch artists in the industry. I was ranked #1 in the United States and won trips all over the world for my incredible sales record. I constantly hear, wait, is that in her program or in selling ShamWows? Confused. I constantly hear new coaches who aren't making money say that their prospective clients won't spend money on coaching. Listen, if people will buy a $30 lint roller when they could buy a $3 one, they will buy coaching that will change their life. AKA, you can manipulate them to buy anything you're selling regardless of its actual value. People have money. They love to buy things. They want to buy things from you. They just don't know it yet. That's why you need to know how to sell. It isn't inborn. It isn't sleazy. It's a necessary skill that you can learn, and you have to learn it. Selling is the bedrock of financial security in this industry. Listen to me. Your social media can be taken down tomorrow. Your podcast could be removed from iTunes. Facebook ad prices could skyrocket. Okay, before we move on, I just want to address the fact that she's saying people have money, yet so many of these coaches, when they're told, oh, I don't have the money, they say, oh, just get a credit card, just put it on a private loan, put it on a line of credit. They don't actually care if you have money or not. What she means is people have the means of finding money, whether it's through financing or what, in my opinion. If you know how to sell, you will never stop making money. When it comes to making money, I live by one rule. Where there is one, there is always two. 2 clients, 2 opportunities, $2,000, 2 chances to change everything. And when there's 2, there's 4. When there's 4, there's 8. You get the idea. What is happening? But there's an important catch. So many life coaches try and go from business beginner to 6-figure earner overnight. It doesn't work because it's too big of a jump. Your brain literally can't figure out how to do that, but I can teach you how. I can help you reach your income goal $2,000 at a time. We create your first $2,000 and then we scale up. Wait. I don't think it's a matter of beginners not being able to reach 6 figures overnight so much as like they literally aren't qualified to be charging enough money to be making 6 figures. Like, pardon me, this doesn't make any sense. Because you can't get to $100,000 without going through $2,000 first. That's literally how math works. Like, what is happening? 2K to 4K to 6K to 8K, that's how you get there. Wow, thank you so much for this rudimentary math lesson. You know what? I didn't understand that that's how counting worked until I read this page. I know because that's what I did. Oh, actually, you know what I did? I made $8,000 and then I decided to make $2,000 second. What is happening? Oh my God, my phone just turned on itself. Weird. That was really weird. Ah! Anyway, I was making a joke that I made 8,000 first, then decided to make 2,000. Probably didn't land, but what can you do? Moving on. I know because that's what I did. I built my business one client at a time. One person at a time. I took my business from 2,000 to 200,000 in over a year, and I did it without any fancy tech. They all say the same thing. I will teach you everything you need to do to meet your next client, close them, have hundreds of coaches, make money learning how to sell. Many of them are now six-figure earners, and they get their $2,000 at a time. You can too. Ha ha ha. How many of them are not six-figure earners, though? That's what I really want to know. Girl math. Exactly. This is like quintessential girl math. Don't worry about finding that money. Take the loan, invest with me, and the money will find you. Exactly. Yes, Kathy, let's talk about this. So Kathy in the chat is saying, that's what threw me off. She is a good salesperson, which makes me think, how authentic is her coaching program? This is the thing I wish so many of these coaches would just come out and say. I don't want to get canceled. I don't think that most people who identify as business coaches are actually good at business. I feel like a lot of business coaches don't actually understand how the majority of businesses should operate and what best business practice is. I think that most business coaches, especially like the large scale popular business coaches, are really good at sales. And I wish that they would brand or market themselves as sales coaches, because that's what they are. They are teaching the craft of sales. They are not teaching business. They aren't coaching you in business. They don't even really understand business, in my opinion, beyond 2K is less than 4K is less than 6K is less than 8K. That's math. I think that if they could just say, I'm a sales coach, I will teach you how to make more sales, that would be more authentic than trying to like brand yourself as this business expert anyway. I don't know what the rest of you think about that, but it's never made sense to me. And I wish more of them would have the wit about them to say like, yeah, I'm actually really good at sales. I'm not actually good at coaching or business coaching. Exactly. Scammer math. Add a 0 to your credit line, take a 0 out of your bank account and put it in mine. Voila, you've cracked the code to riches. 100%. It's all marketing and sales, and then there's no substance at the end of the day. So we love that here. Okay, so that's a little bit about her. I didn't really actually learn anything about her in reading this. Usually they have like an origin story of, I was on my last dollar eating beans that I dumpster dived to find, and then I became a millionaire. Instead, she briefly talked about how she used to sell ShamWows, and now she's like, I can help you get rich. So that is interesting to me. Again, I still don't understand her origin story. She didn't tell me how she got into coaching, why she's qualified to be a coach, etc. So let me see. How can we work with this wonderful woman? Exactly. Sales is just one part of business, but they act like they understand all of business when all they understand is sales. Exactly, Lisa. But why buy the $30 lint roller when you could buy the $3,000 lint roller? By the way, I'm dropping lint rollers, $3,000. Send me a PayPal and transfer, and I'll hook you up. Yeah. Many of them are six-figure earners. Source, trust me. That's the vibe I'm getting from this sales page. Or it's not even a sales page, it's their about page. Oh. Exactly. Thank you, Samuel. So Samuel says, when you tell them about taxes, SOPs, structure, organization chart, cash flow, legality, they'll say, we don't teach that here. Someone was talking to me. It might have been Hillary. Sorry, Hillary, if I'm putting words in your mouth. I was having a conversation, this was a few months ago, with someone who told me they were in a business coaching program, and when they asked a business related question, the coach actually said that, like, oh, we don't cover that here. You should go talk to an accountant. Like, pardon me? I just paid you $20,000 and now you're not going to tell me? Oh my God. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So, sorry. Continuing on. We're on the page now where she's going to explain what type of people she works with. So it says she works with 3 types of coaches. First, she works with coaches who want to make their first $2,000. So the beginning stage of any business requires a different strategy and thought process, which is true. Getting your first client is all about hustle, taking action, making offers, selling your face off. It's about making money and getting those first clients however you have to do it. This sentence right here, red frickin' flag. It's about making money and getting those first clients however you have to do it. Keep in mind, her homepage says, I help life coaches make money. It has nothing to do with the coaching, nothing to do with helping people, nothing to do with transforming people's lives. Instead, we are focused on making money and getting those clients, those sales, no matter what. However you have to do it, I'm going to show you how to do it. I can already imagine the tactics she would be teaching in this program. Cold messaging. I give my clients the foundational work to market themselves, get clients on the phone, and get them signed up for coaching. This isn't entry-level information. It's sales mastery. I set my clients up for a fast track to their first 6 figures, just from the work they will do to book those first few clients. Oh my God. So that's the first person. The first person she works with makes $2,000. Let's see how much she charges for this. Okay, I'm not going to read through all of this. Just want to see how much she charges. Okay, so it's $2,000. You pay me $2,000 and I will teach you how to make $2,000. Make it make sense, my friends. Make it make sense. Why? So let me guess. Is this one $200,000? Like, holy moly. Okay. Sorry, I missed that. I was scrolling too fast. Hillary says this program is called 2K for 2K. Ay. Exactly. Grifter teaching another grifter wannabe. Coaches who want to make $200,000. When you are ready to get serious in your business and really make some money, when you are starting to bring in consistent income, it's all about creating a business that will take you to $200K and beyond. I show you how to look at your business from the future and start strategically planning how to build wealth. Having perspective for your 6-figure scale from someone that has done it 10 times over is everything. I have helped clients make 6 figures in 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, help them have 6-figure launches and create signature courses and brands for that next level, and I will help you too. 6 figures requires an all-out mentorship, and this is what I give you in the 200K Mastermind. Exactly this. Buy my course and then sell it yourself for the same price. Exactly. 100%. I don't think this one is $200K though. I think this one is $25,000. So your time to make $200,000 is now, blah, blah, blah. So this one is a mastermind. The other one I believe was like an online course. This one, we get to be in each other's energy. Here we go. Investment. A one-time investment of $25,000 due upon acceptance or enroll in the payment plan. No frickin' thank you. Okay. So those are so far the 2 people. So she works with people that want to make $200,000, people who want to make $200,000, and people who want, or coaches, that want to make millions. Again, let's take a moment to notice how her target market is life coaches, yet nowhere on any of these sales pages so far has she actually talked about the life coaching part. She's only talking about making money. Interesting. A lot of coaches attempt to scale to millions by working more and doubling, tripling, and quadrupling their pricing. But I show you how to grow your revenue exponentially to millions of dollars while only working 3 days a week and getting your clients better, faster results than ever before. I've sold $3 million of coaching and helped clients cross the $1 million mark in their business calmly and strategically without a lot of drama. Making 7 figures with the highest level of coaches and entrepreneurs is what you can expect when you join the $2 million group. It's where CEOs are born. Again, why are we making promises that people will only be able to work 3 days a week? Why are we making promises that, like, where was it? Getting your clients better, faster results than ever before. How are we going to life coach people faster? Again, if our focus was actually on life coaching and not coaching coaches to coach other coaches, we wouldn't be able to guarantee things like that. Just saying. Let's see how much this one is. Okay, and maybe, I don't know if she'll have a price because it's very exclusive. So requirements to join, $300,000 in a year your business has to be making. $50,000 of this revenue must come from at least one scalable offer. There it is. Your scalable offer has to be a group or a program or both. You will be transitioning out of one-on-one coaching. A one-time $25,000 payment. So she charges the same amount of money for her $2 million club as she does for her $200,000 club. That's kind of interesting. Okay, let me just catch up on your comments. So she does have a few testimonials on this page here. There's this one that says, I made $500,000 in 2.5 years. This one that says, during my round of $2 million group, I crossed $1 million in 12 months. And there were a few others on the actual sales pages that I skipped through. But again, the thing with these testimonials is they often like capture people at the most opportune time when you're like riding the high of the program before you've had the opportunity to really reflect on whether or not you actually got what you were promised. And I know I had that experience, and other people that I've spoken with have had a similar experience where they provided a positive testimonial only to later be like, I actually don't feel that way. But these coaches will hold on to any kind of feedback. Also, sometimes there's an incentive for people to leave positive feedbacks, whether that's like they'll buy you a gift card. Some people pay for their testimonials. They give you free access to information. Lots of tactics to get testimonials. So while yes, testimonials are important when you are a business trying to sell a service, I always read through them with a grain of salt. Exactly. If the results are guaranteed, why don't you coach me for free? And since it's guaranteed, I'll pay you when I get the client. That's exactly it. If you're going to teach me the method to make $2,000, why don't I pay you my $2,000 once I make it? Hillary says it's $25,000 for 6 months, and she frames it as $200K revenue for the year, as in you pay her 25% of your revenue at a minimum. Wow. I also heard that, and I think this will come up in the Reddit thread, that while it's $25,000, it's actually encouraged that you do the program like 3 times or something. So you end up paying her, maybe you do it 6 times, because you end up paying her like $150,000 or something. Yes, I kind of thought this was funny too. So Kat saying, this is go from 200,000 to 100,000. What a wide range. Does she actually help life coaches improve their business or just their sales? We're only focused on making money here. We do not care about our clients, okay? She doesn't. Anyone can claim any. You know what? I should email her and let her know that I took her program and I'm now a millionaire. I am not. You decide we're not here to actually life coach anyone. We're just here to get rich, okay? So take your negative attitude and go away.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se.
Just kidding. Okay. Hello, DC. Welcome. Also, I saw Heather in the chat. So hello, Heather. If you're not subscribed to DC or to Heather, please go ahead and go to their channels and subscribe. Okay. You decide. Most people don't have the money, but what these coaches will do is they will put you on a high pressure sales call, either with themselves or with their team members. And it's even worse, I think, when they have team members, because those people are specifically trained in like high ticket sales. And basically they'll just tell you to take out a second loan on your house, get a line of credit, pay with your credit card, and that's how you're going to get rich. You know, the investment will come back to you. Interesting. So Hillary says she also has a secret program for people trying to earn $20,000. She upsells you once you're in 2K for 2K. So I sign up, I pay $2,000 to join this 2K program. And then once I'm in it, she's going to try and teach me how to make $20,000. Interesting. Okay, so I think this kind of gives us like a pretty good overview of what kind of program she sells. It didn't really tell us at all who she is. Like, I don't know if I can find Stacey Boehman, like a bio somewhere. She doesn't have one. Who is Stacey Boehman? She is one of the most gifted coaches in the industry and a masterful teacher of the art of selling and delivering coaching at the highest level. Oh, thank you. Actually, Aubrey, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Complete Disaster. We actually haven't had any tech issues today, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, so I don't know anything about her backstory, how long she's been a coach, what her story is, but I guess it's irrelevant. Now, let's see. This was, I guess there was like a bunch of drama a few months ago, and while I'm not necessarily one to partake in the drama, I thought this was interesting, so I figured we could read it together. It's on Reddit, so is it true? I don't know, but we're going to read it anyway. This email from Stacey Boehman about how happy everyone is when they buy from her upset me. She has given over $1 million in refunds to people, and I had an awful time in the 200K mastermind. Despite her claims, many of us felt taken advantage of and scammed by her not excited. Don't pay her a dime. So here's what it says. I did the 200K mastermind and it had no strategy in it. Everything was about fixing your thoughts. Not surprising. Again, if you watched the stream last week where we talked about Brooke Castillo, or you've seen my video, my deep dive video about Brooke Castillo is very much about personal responsibility, teaching people that they are completely responsible for their outcomes in life. And so if Stacey Boehman was trained by Brooke Castillo, it would only make sense that she also claims everything is about your thoughts and it's never someone else's problem. It's your problem. I was also under the impression it was a 6-month program for $25,000, but after you join, she tells you it's a 3-year process. Okay, this is what I was talking about. For $150,000. If you bring this up, she gaslights you. I don't know who is worse, Stacey or Brooke, but they're both scammers. Again, this is alleged, this person's opinion on Reddit. Let me drop this thread in the chat if anyone wants to go ahead and read it in their spare time. Here's the email. So this is the email Stacey Boehman sent to her email list. Selling coaching can be a service to your clients. It can be highly valuable, helpful, and make your client feel excited because they know they are making decisions with purpose towards what they want. Have you ever had a sales experience like this? A sales experience that leaves you wanting to call someone and tell them what you just bought. An experience that has you dancing around? If not, we got to get that for you. I have had this experience many times in my life. And my students have too. They often tell me they are running for their credit cards, dancing in the kitchen, or their spouses are convincing them to sign up with me. Okay. Yeah, frickin' right. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of like who I was talking to recently. Someone was telling me a story about how they wanted to sign up for a coaching program. I remember now. It's one of my internet friends who is a copywriter, and she was telling me how she wanted to sign up for this coach's like $2,000 program or something. Like, it wasn't even that outrageous comparatively in the industry. And she went to her husband to be like, yeah, I'm signing up for this like workshop training, blah, blah, blah. And her husband was like, absolutely not. You're not doing that. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I just really find it hard to believe that these spouses would be convincing these people to sign up with them, because I can even think that if I went to my partner and I was like, yeah, I'm going to spend $25,000 on this mastermind, he would be like, that's really dumb. Don't do that. And while ultimately I can choose what I do with my money, I think he would definitely have a few words to say. They talk about the major ahas they've had during my sales presentations. How does this happen? What I can tell you in this email is how it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen when you're thinking, I really need the money. Okay, here's where we get into like the manifestation quantum BS. It doesn't happen when you're feeling as excited as a chihuahua chomping at your potential client's heels. It doesn't happen when desperation has set in because you haven't had a consultation in months. It comes from fun, playful, certain energy, where helping a customer makes a decision feel light, open, and caring. Bridging the gap between truly needing to make a sale and creating a memorable buying experience for your client first and foremost. And creating a memorable buying experience for your client is the first most important hurdle in making money as a life coach. Shouldn't the first most important hurdle be actually being able to provide a transformation for your client? Just asking. I'm thinking like in the context of my own business, where I do consulting with businesses specifically on like how they can leverage social media for their business. And if I was truly just focused on making a bunch of money, then I could like make all these false claims and tell people I can guarantee them all these results just to make a bunch of money. But then my clients wouldn't get any results as a result of like working with me. So this doesn't make any sense if you operate with integrity. So I think this email is like very, very telling in a sense. Want to learn how to do it? I'm teaching you. You'll want to grab a seat here quick before the class fills up. It's free. Excuse me. I will see you there. No, you will not. No, you will absolutely not. Running for their credit cards. Yeah, exactly. That was my thought. I regretfully purchased 2K 7 years ago. I asked to be removed from her email list 4 times. Each time I was assured by her team that I was permanently removed. After getting the Mastermind drinks invite, I wrote them again and said that what they were doing was illegal. They wrote back and said they'd finally figure out how to fix the issue. Everyone who works for her is culpable at this point. Okay, the rest is all just like kind of hearsay, but again, I've linked it in the chat if you are interested in reading about how people feel about this. Exactly. Want to learn how to do it? Come let me sell to you. That's the same vibe I'm getting. Very true. Harrison says, could be worse. Could be the Modern Night Project, where partners of the Marks filmed 45-minute testimonials specifically to overcome the spouse's objections. So if you missed my stream a few weeks ago, I talked about this company or program called the Modern Night Program or Project, where essentially it's like ex-military men torturing other men, but you like pay $12,000 to get tortured or $18,000. And they had all of the wives of all of the men record these testimonials about how great their lives are now and how much their husband has changed and blah, blah, blah. And it was wild to say the least. But basically the purpose of those testimonials is so that when a man wants to sign up and he talks to his wife about it, he can show her these videos of other women being like, yeah, it's amazing. Woo. Interesting. Okay, what do we think? Should we just keep going for the drama? Or I have a podcast too we're going to listen to eventually, but let's see. This one says, it gets worse, folks. Last week, Stacey Boehman kicked this coach out of her program for writing this post on Facebook. Okay, we got to read it. Let's go. I've heard a lot of big name coaches claim that their people will buy anything they sell them. I've been in conference rooms full of people roaring and cheering as they've made these claims. I've looked around and caught that little gleam in those people's eyes, a flicker of hope that perhaps one day they too could possess this skill to sell, sell, sell. And if you're like me, something about that statement just feels ick. In my opinion, no matter how much you love a community, person, or set of beliefs, you should never stop thinking independently for yourself and evaluating your purchasing decisions. I mean, have you ever seen smart people do dumb shit because they were blinded by love? Interesting. Again, I'm not stating this as fact. I don't ever really fully trust the things I read on Reddit. But it would be interesting if this coach had a follow-up post that stated how she got kicked out. Alas. Okay, I'm done with the gossiping. Let's go ahead and listen to the podcast episode. So this is, sorry, for context, Stacey Boehman has a podcast. Who doesn't these days? But essentially, her very first episode ever is called 3 Things You Need to Do to Make Money as a Life Coach. And I thought this tied well into the discussion today. So I figured we would go ahead and give it a listen together. Now you're going to have to let me know if you can hear it. And then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, let me see.
Welcome to the Make Money as a Life Coach podcast.
Can you hear that? Let me know. I paused it. Let me know if the sound is working. Yeah. Rosie, that's exactly what I was thinking. Oh boy, a life coach podcast. How novel, how new, how refreshing, how unique. Never seen this one before. Okay, we can hear it? Perfect.
Where sales expert and master coach Stacey Boehman teaches you how to make your first 2K, 20K,
Oh, I've been saying her name wrong this whole time, so sorry about that.
and 200K using her proven formula.
Hello, you. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you're a diva, welcome back. And let's keep building on the work we have done. This podcast is about making money as a life coach. I want to share with you today how I did it, how I got my business off the ground and got started making money. There are 3 things and only 3 things you have to do to start making money as a life coach. Today, I'm going to tell you what all 3 of those things are. We're going to dive into the first thing, and then we'll finish up the next 2 things you have to do and really dive into them over the next couple of episodes. So just make sure you stay tuned.
Why is it that all of these alleged millionaires can never afford like good quality audio equipment? This sounds like it was recorded on a set of like Apple headphones. I'm just confused because this isn't the first time we've seen this.
I'm so excited. So I do want to just share with you a little bit about me. You're going to learn so much more about me over the rest of the podcast episodes as we continue on. I love to share stories about me personally because so many people ask me and they're really curious, and I'm always curious about other people's stories. So you'll hear a ton about my story. But I was actually thinking about getting my business started when I was creating this podcast. I've always talked about my income and my story, and I'm always super transparent about it. But I always have told people about my income from a full calendar year perspective. And I actually was thinking back, when I look back at when I actually launched my business and my first actual 12 months of being in business, it's a little bit of a different story. And so I wanted to share that with you all. So I got certified in March of 2015. And for my first 12 months, from March to the next March, I made $18,000 in my business. And you might be in a similar place where you've been in business for 12 months where you actually feel like you set up shop, and 12 months later, you have made a lot less money than you thought you would have. And that was where I was for the first 12 months of my business.
Okay, but what were you saying online at that time? Were you openly admitting that you were only making $18,000, or were you trying to convince people that you were already super successful? Because I think this is the piece people don't talk about. They act like they're so successful the whole time, when in reality, they don't actually become successful until they've sold enough people on the idea that they are successful. Do you know what I'm saying?
But then something magical happened. I started doing the 3 steps we're going to talk about today. I actually started them a little bit before the next 12 months, but it kind of like all caught up from there. And so, but I really spent the second 12 months growing my business doing these 3 things. And that's why I want to share them with you, as they're so important. But I took my business, and this is really what I want you guys to hear, from 18,000 to $211,000 in a 12-month period, just from the 3 things truly that I'm about to share with you on this podcast. And then I took it from 211,000 to 429,000 for that 3rd year. And then over the next year, we're going to bring in over $1 million from the next 12 months, which is so fun and exciting. So your business can grow like from what feels like nothing to everything in such a short amount of time. And what you do and what you spend your time on is so important. So flash forward to now. Life coaches come to me to work with me for a few reasons. They love my authenticity and transparency. You're going to hear a lot about that on this podcast. You will not get this level of vulnerability in the market anywhere. Promise. They come to me to be a better businesswoman and coach, to truly think at a higher level, to master sales and conversions so you can market less, make money faster, and spend way more time doing what you love. And because I make it simple. And that's what today is all going to be about. Simple, simple, simple. I'm going to give you the simplest way to make money as a life coach. So I remember when I was in that first 12 months when I made that $18,000, I remember being so confused and overwhelmed with all of the steps I was seeing to create a life coaching business. The website, the freebie or the opt-in, picking a niche, creating a blog even. I had no idea how to do any of these things. Sound familiar?
So I just stopped doing all those things and instead was like, you know what's actually going to get me rich? If I just convince people I have the secret to getting rich, is what I think is going to happen here.
Thought for a while that those were the only way to make money and succeed as a life coach.
Great question, Kat. Hillary, let us know. Is her podcast always a sales pitch, or is this unique to this episode? Let me know.
But I quickly learned that they weren't. I figured out a way that worked for me. And this way just so happens to work so well for all the other life coaches that I work with. Because when you are new, I want you to really think about this. You're just trying to believe in yourself. You're scared as hell that you're going to mess up your client and do it wrong. You lack so much confidence. It's crazy. And you're just hoping to sign that one client that will prove to you you are capable of doing this and getting paid to do this incredible career.
Except you're not doing the career. You are not life coaching anyone. You're teaching sales. This is what I don't understand. Like, why can't you just admit what you're doing?
Then when you throw on top of that the need to produce newsletters, blogs, podcasts, create free gifts to offer people, learning how to use an email server, building a website, getting a Facebook ad up and running, you enter complete meltdown mode. If this is you, I just want to offer, I feel you, you're in the right place. So here's what I did. I focused on 3 things. I'm going to tell you what they are. Again, we're going to dive into the first thing today, and then we're going to uncover the next 2 in upcoming episodes. So stay tuned. And they were really simple, and I spent all of my time doing them. And by the end of a year straight doing this, I had built a multiple 6-figure business and had an entire tribe following me. And it takes a lot of time for coaches to build a dedicated audience base, what I call a tribe. But I did it really quickly, and it was truly because I spent my first year focused on these 3 things. Here they are. Meet as many people as possible. Tell them you're a life coach. Make offers to help them. That's it. I'm dead serious. This is all you truly have to do to build.
Are you kidding? And is this the same stuff she teaches? Did anyone take the 2K for 2K? Is she literally teaching you, network with people, tell them what you do, and then sell them? Network with people, figure out what their problems are, promise you can solve their problem. This is giving the same vibes as the course creator coaches that are Talk to people and understand, learn what their problems are, then tell them you have a course that will solve their problem, even though you haven't built a course yet. Like, get a freaking clue.
Coaching practice. So you can breathe a sigh of relief. It's super simple, much simpler probably than you've been making it.
Okay,
So we're going to dive into meeting as many people as possible today and why it's so important. The first reason you need to meet as many people as possible, you're going to meet people who don't know you from before. As a coach, one of the things I see life coaches struggle with the most is who we have known ourselves to be our whole life and who we are trying to become as a coach. The people in our lives currently who already know us are usually the last to get on board with that person, if ever. They know about who we used to be and how we used to be. Like, they know us as the person we were. And suddenly, that thing you struggled with your whole life that you have partially created new results for in your new life is the thing that now you're claiming to be an expert in. Can you blame them? If you don't already have a good dose of fraud complex going, your friends and family are probably going to be pretty great at helping you get there. But the people that you just meet, they only know the person that you greet them as. They get the opportunity to meet you as the person you want to be, as if you've always been that person. They get to meet.
Jen, we are struggling here. I'm already singing, which is never a good sign because usually this only happens when my brain has stopped working.
Your highest self. So they in turn help you become that person. They help you solidify
100%.
Your belief in yourself and this new identity that you're forming. I always say to my clients, the faster you can figure out who you want to be and become that person, the more money you will make. When you tell your sister, your husband, your colleague that you're now a life coach, it's usually on your end laced with asking permission to be that, to be.
No, it's usually laced with actually being qualified to do that thing. Like, I can't just walk around being like, I'm a doctor. Everyone, I'm a doctor. If you didn't know, I am a doctor. So you got problems? Come on over. I'll cut you open. Not only am I a doctor, I'm actually a surgeon. I just decided. So wish it, will it into the universe, and it will be coming soon to a lawsuit near you.
Accepted as that, for them to believe that you can be that. And you can't blame them. They know that you have 0 clients and you just got certified, or not, that you haven't even been certified. And this brand new person you meet just has no idea about any of that. They don't know that you're still unsure, and that saying, I'm a life coach, might still be difficult for you. They know nothing about you except what you decide to show them. It's your brand new opportunity to start over with every single person you meet. For every person you meet, you get an opportunity to strengthen your own belief in who you are and what you offer. So practice being confident. Be the coach who has all the clients and the successful coaching practice. Be the person living her dream. You know, the second client I ever signed was someone I met at a networking event, and I showed her the version of me who was living her dreams, helping people, doing what she loved, running her own business. And she signed with me because she wanted to be that person too. And I wasn't pretending or faking it or being dishonest. I was courageously believing in that life so much I was embodying it before the results came in.
Okay, but just because you're delusional enough to believe the things that you want to be true doesn't mean that you're not being dishonest, right? Like, basically what she's saying is, I embodied the behavior of someone who was successful enough so much that someone signed with me as a client because they also wanted to be able to do that. And I wasn't being dishonest, even though I wasn't successful yet, because I believed it to be true. No, honey, that means you're delusional and you've convinced yourself that you are qualified to be doing things you should not be doing. That is what we call being dishonest. That is why this is a scam. in my opinion, of course.
Before I actually had that life. It's like saying like the way that I would say in a few months, I'm going to Napa. I haven't actually been to Napa, but I know without a doubt that I will be there. We've already booked the plane tickets. It's that kind of energy. You will need to work on this energy of really believing that that is where you're headed and that is the life that you will have and that is who you are now. That's why you need to meet as many people as possible. The more people you meet, the more practice you get in becoming that badass life coach I know you're meant to be. And don't tell me, seriously, like listen, do not tell me.
We love it. Joe says, it's not a lie if you're Delulu. I love it. So true. It's so true, Lulu, though. Just be Delulu and your dreams will come true, Lulu.
That you can't get out of the house and meet people, that there's just too much to do and you have no time. Like 6-figure coaching businesses don't just fall out of the sky. You aren't entitled to one.
You have to fake it and convince enough people, then you deserve it.
Don't just get it easier because you're busy and you have limited time. I hear it all of the time. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Jack Canfield said in his book, Success Principles, for every obstacle or excuse that you have, for every reason you can't do it, there is someone else who has had the exact same obstacle and figured it out. Success is for the person willing to figure it out and let go of all those excuses.
Sure, I don't disagree with that. I think a lot of the times in life, people face a challenge and they give up, and then there's someone else who faces the same challenge and they're able to overcome it. But in this context, you're talking about literally lying to people and building your success on a bunch of lies. So like, sure, anyone could do that, but most people don't because it's unethical. And
we all know excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one. So your kids, your full-time job, your laundry, none of that is a good enough reason to not get out and meet people. Zero excuses. Seriously. Don't let that be an excuse. Okay. End rant. The second reason that you need to be meeting people is because you need to get the word out and expand your network as fast as possible. Every person you meet knows a few hundred people themselves. I want you to imagine the size of weddings. Like each person you meet is like
This is giving MLM vibes. I know Harrison already said it, but this is 100% the 100s list. Here we go.
Growing your network the size of a wedding. And I really like to give you that visual because think about like a huge room full of people at a wedding. Like every person you meet gives you access to all those people too. It's really awesome. It's like the 6 degrees of separation thing. And you just never know where a referral might come from that situation. Like I have the best stories about this. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of those. So my second client introduced me to one of her friends who signed with me like maybe 3 or 4 months later, maybe 6 months later. And then as soon as she signed with me, she told another friend of hers that she told another friend of hers that my original client didn't know. So she like 6 degrees of separation, like my client referred me to a friend of hers who referred me to a friend of hers. And she signed. And the day she signed, she told another friend of hers in a completely different state that she was signing with a life coach and she was feeling 100% better by after the very first conversation that she had with me. And so her friend messaged me that day, set up a consult for 2 days later and signed with me as well. So I signed 3 clients within like a week. It was insane. I also had a client who met a person. So she didn't even know this person.
I'd be curious to know if she offers a kickback. Like if she has a referral. So like if you refer someone, you get like a $200 kickback. If anyone knows, you let me know.
And fell in love with her mission and what she was trying to do. And so she messaged me and said, I don't think she has the money to pay for a coach, but I really believe in her message. So I want you to do a consult with her. And if you think it's a good fit and she's committed to doing the work, I will pay for her coaching. So not only did I not know that person the week that I found out about this person, but my client didn't even know this person. It was someone she met. And if I don't have you on board yet with how incredible meeting as many people as possible is, my first 2 clients, I was not in the network marketing niche. I was just offering to help really anybody that came my way with the tool that I use the most, which is called the model. And I just really believed I could help anybody get any result that they wanted. And so I didn't niche and I was just going out and positioning myself to help as many people as possible. And I met these two girls that were in network marketing businesses, and they had teams of people underneath them. And they loved working with me so much. They started having me do workshops for their people so that their people could also have the transformation and breakthroughs that they were having. And so all of a sudden now I had access to 10, 20, 30 other new people that I'd never met before. And then those people wanted to start working with me. Every person you meet is an opportunity to introduce you to someone who might end up being a client of yours.
I like how she's explaining networking as it's like this revolutionary thing that no one has ever heard of. Guys, if you have a business and you want to sell to people, you should go out and talk to people and tell them that you have a business. Oh my God, I never thought of that. You know what? This whole time, I've just been sitting here hoping clients would contact me and want to work with me. I had no idea that I could go and network with people to find clients. Like, lady, get out of here.
For the next couple of years, it's a really big deal. And every person you meet is a person who can engage with you online as the new person you are becoming. More about that in a second. But first, let me just say, you can totally meet people online. I highly recommend doing that. It's free. It's fast. You can do it in your jammies. Meet people in Facebook groups. You can meet people with paying for Facebook ads if you want to. You can meet people in trainings. You can meet people in paid groups. I actually teach my entire process for making money as a life coach in my 2K for 2K group. And we have a Facebook community, and the people in that group expand their network and engagement like crazy just by being in the program. Like, they friend each other, they watch each other's lives, they do business with each other. Like, there are lots of creative ways to meet people online. I've met clients in being in somebody else's program. I've met clients being in other people's Facebook groups, like just building relationships and meeting people. So let me explain how every person you meet is a person who can engage with you online as the new person you're becoming and why that's so important.
Let me explain to you how you can manipulate every relationship in your life to make more money.
I'm going to talk to you about how I built up my social media presence and how I got people seeing me as a big deal and really taking me seriously kind of from the get-go. I went to all kinds of networking events, like with live human beings. And I wasn't too concerned with whether it matched my niche, because remember, I didn't even really have a niche at the time. And also, let me just say, I recently had a client that made me specify maybe not networking events for lovers of German Shepherds. Like, not like crazy far out networking events, but if there are adult people doing normal things, go to that event. So, go to every party, every wedding. I went to Rodan and Fields events, 31 parties. What's the jewelry company? The Stella and Dot.
Coaches coaching coaches, but also apparently we're also coaching MLM people on how to make money in MLM. So we love that. Pay me money so I can teach you how to win in a failing business model.
I went to anything I got invited to. Also, let me be clear, I actively participated. So I would buy stuff. Like, I would be a fun participant in the group. I created my own networking events. I sponsored bigger networking events. I met
Yes, she did, Sina.
people for coffee. So you want to go to anything and everything, but then here's what happened. I would friend them on social media or, whatever profile you're using. Like, you could use LinkedIn. I personally want to vomit when I think about LinkedIn because it feels so like professional and uptight, but that might be perfect for you. Or you might love Instagram, but whatever social media platform you're using or whatever like way that you're connecting with other people. For me, it was Facebook. I would connect with them. And then I would make sure there was content there for them to comment on. So I was engaging on there constantly. And I went from like 1 to 2 likes on a post when I first started coaching to 30 to 60 engagements a post, which might be small in the big scheme of things when you look at huge influencers that are getting hundreds of posts. But if they're getting hundreds of likes, they were either already an influencer or they've been doing it for years. And so when you're new, like right now, when you think about it, and you might be in that place where you're getting 1 to 2 likes, going from 1 to 2 likes to 30 to 60 likes and comments and engagements is a pretty big deal, especially when you're new in business. So I would establish a connection in person. And then when I added them in my social media world, they were more likely to connect online because they had that personal connection. So important. Then the more people that are engaging, all of a sudden my business looks legit. And now people are finding me online and engaging with me. Now when I'm in a
It's okay, Hillary. I quite literally just poured one out for you all over my desk. So
Facebook group and people friend me, they see people engaging with me. Now they feel comfortable to engage as well. So before I became a coach, I was a pitch artist. That's what I would call it. I would do live infomercials across the country. I was the best, like one of the best in the entire industry. I was always number one in the US in sales for like 7 years straight. And so I would go into retail chains across the country and I would do like 10 shows a day of a new product. And for every show, I would have a group of about 20 to 100 strangers around my counter. Sometimes they were a bit hostile. And I knew the one thing I had to do is get someone engaging with me first. This gave permission for other people to do it as well. The more people who were engaged, the more others engaged. We used to have a joke that no one wants to be the only asshole who buys and no one wants to be the only asshole who doesn't. And I think that's true for social media engagement as well. So one of the things that would help me in particularly slower stores with smaller traffic or like more hostile stores. And when I say hostile, I just mean like they would be more skeptical or more like not like excited about the show, more like annoyed that they had to watch a show. And so here's what I would do in those situations is I would walk around and hand out free gift tickets. And it would just be like a ticket that said, you know, you're entitled to a free gift. And I would walk around the store and let people know ahead of time that the show was going to start soon and where to go. And I'd make them feel special by saying, I'd like kind of like walk by and whisper to them, hey, I just wanted to let you know we're about to hand out free gifts over at, you know, XYZ location. You can go ahead and head over there now if you want to be first. And then I just keep walking.
if a stranger approached me in a store and whispered into my ear, hey, I have some free stuff, I would be like, why are you talking to me? Get away from me. Like, do not approach strangers in public and whisper in their ears, please.
And I would say it kind of like it was a secret, like I was doing them a favor. But here's what I was really doing. I was creating personal connection ahead of time. Like so many people would be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then they would feel connected to me. So when I walked up to the table, we'd already established a relationship. They were much warmer to me then than if I had just approached them and they'd never ever seen me before. So as annoyed as you might be about networking events, and trust me, so many coaches tell me they are so annoyed about networking events. And I used to think the same thing about them, but this is why they're so important. They aren't even really about you signing clients at them. In fact, if you're trying to sign clients at them, you're probably in the wrong energy. Like I think I signed one client ever at an actual networking event. But I signed tons by showing up at events my clients hosted and parties they held. And, you know, different, like I would go to multi-level marketing meetings with my friends. Like, you know, I just signed a ton of people by meeting people through those events and then building the relationship through social media and keeping in contact and engaging with them. So it's not necessarily about who you meet. It's just about the relationships that you build from who you met. It's about who you become in having met all those people. And it's about creating an audience to really establish yourself, because it doesn't matter how talented you are if you're performing to an empty theater. And that is so important. So when you do meet someone who really can use your services, who is a great fit for you, they can feel safe to engage with you and ask for help because you've created this audience, because you've become this person that people engage with as a life coach, and because you've met all these people and built up your confidence that way. Meeting as many people as possible is truly about creating a safe space for people who need help to come. It's truly about expanding your network and building your audience. It's like if you build it.
Why is she spending 20 minutes explaining the most basic information? We already know this.
They will come. And I promise that is always true. All right. So this week, go out and meet as many people as possible and keep doing it. I spent a year doing that, maybe two really, if you count both of those years, the 18,000 year and then the 18,000 to 211,000 year. And that I really do believe is the reason my business is as successful as it is and why my tribe is so strong. And you can do that too without any startup capital, any tech stuff, even without a certification. Like if you're in training to become a coach, get out there, meet as many people as possible. You will be so grateful you started early. Okay, I will see you next week, and we're going to dive into why it's so important to tell everybody that you're a life coach after you meet them. So you meet as many people as possible, and then you tell everybody you're a life coach. And then we're going to also dive into making offers to them.
Okay. Wow. Yikes. Big yikes. As you saw, I Googled this other episode that Hillary said we should listen to. So we're going to get into that. But first, we'll take a little break because that was painful. You know what, Kat? I hate it here too. Except for all of you in the chat. Thank you for making this a little bit more bearable. But that was pretty painful, honestly, between the condescending laugh and the fact that she didn't teach us anything revolutionary or new, but framed it as if it was going to be. I am not impressed, but was I expecting to be impressed? No, I was not. Demi says, I've never taken any coaching type courses. Is there ever any training stuff that's beyond a very basic beginner level? So here's the thing. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with having a program that is very basic beginner level information, assuming that you're targeting it to beginners. However, what I think happens is so many of these coaches only know basic level information, and rather than admit that they only know basic level information, they sell people on like this ability to expand your business when they've never actually done that, or they don't actually know the process behind doing that. So I appreciate this question, but it must exist. Maybe, I don't know. Is there people out there that know stuff? I mean, I know there is, not in the coaching space specifically, but in mentorship in general. Like I have friends that have mentors, unpaid mentors, that learn things from those mentors, but it's because the mentors have like 20 years experience in whatever industry and they actually know stuff. These people are all beginners, inexperienced, cosplaying as experts. So I would say, yes, there is stuff out there for people that have experience, but they're never going to be masked in a coaching program like this. Like, no, you wouldn't find them selling a 5 Steps to Success course. Yeah, that was a masterclass in how to make you the least likable person anyone could possibly know. I would be so embarrassed if I brought a friend to an event, whether it was a birthday party, a Pampered Chef party, any kind of like social event, and then that friend started sales pitching everyone in the room. I would be like, Stacey? I don't know her. I didn't bring her. Weird. Who brought her to this party? Wasn't me. Couldn't have been me. It's just very off-putting. Like, why would you utilize every single opportunity to pitch your business? I get like wanting to grow your business, but that just seems so next level. Exactly. I'm just here to make friends and pitch my services. Makes no sense. Exactly. So Demi says, I'm thinking about the art courses I take. I'd be super pissed if I took an Illustrator course expecting it to be intermediate or advanced, but I was just learning the basics of vector art tools. And I think that's the difference, is so many of these people aren't honest in how they market the programs. And so they're basically selling you on this idea that they have these like high level secrets when they don't even have the experience. Rosie says, I cannot imagine binge listening to this. Honestly, now it seems like so far-fetched, but I could totally see myself back in like 2018 thinking like, wow, this is revolutionary. Because that's when I used to listen to, you know, Brooke Castillo, Jenna Kutcher, all of those podcasts. So I empathize with you, Hillary. I do for sure. Okay. So this next podcast episode, if we think we can handle another podcast, I wish this plugin had a way to play it at a faster speed. But this one is called Thoughts About Your Coach. This is a major milestone, not just for me, but for all of you. I'm so astonished, blah, 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 blah. So it's episode 100. I recently turned 35 and had an outpouring of comments in our 2K group with my students sharing their thoughts about me. It got me thinking about the concept of your thoughts about your coach and the possibility of your people thinking these things about you and just how powerful that can be. Tune in today as I invite you to examine your thoughts about your coach and how having the highest belief in them can be the lens through which your audience sees you too. I'm sharing just a few of the comments I received to help you recognize that it's 100% possible for this to be your experience. Oh, dear God. Oh, no. Hello and welcome, Streamship TV. Welcome to the channel. Okay, brace yourselves. We're going to get into this episode. I feel like this is not going to be good. Let's see.
Welcome to
For me to record 100 podcasts and for you to listen to and apply the work of 100 podcasts. We have been on a journey together, my lovies. So I want you to just take a second today and really think about what has changed for you in 100 episodes. No matter when you listen to this, at whatever time, even if it's a year from now.
Well, this is only my second episode, so I would say between 5 minutes ago when I listened to the first episode and now when I listen to this episode, not a lot has changed, but thanks for asking.
Stop and think, for you having gone through 100 episodes, how are you different? In fact, I want you to take more than a second. Take like 30 minutes to sit and really give yourself acknowledgement for the lessons you have received and
AI world, welcome to the channel. Hello, hello.
put into practice, the actions you have taken, the experience you have created. Like that is almost 2 years of
Hillary mentioned this in the last episode, but I definitely think she learns her cadence from Brooke Castillo for sure.
podcasting, y'all. 2 years of us coming together to think about making money and serving clients and being the best coaches we can be together. Like it's really astonishing to think of all the results that have been created because this podcast was made and you came to listen. Our world is changed. And what's really fun to think about
My world has not changed for the better, though. I want that on the record.
is the result of 100 episodes. Like so many of you, because of this podcast, have joined 2K for 2K and started making money as a coach. Like this year, we have made more money in 2K than even I knew was possible. Like I remember the thread we had going when the pandemic first was announced. It was hundreds of comments long of coaches signing clients, making money, helping people through one of the most difficult times, possibly, if you're as young as I am, that some of us have lived through ever. Some of us not, like depending on your age or even where you're from, where you live, what part of the world, right? For me, being in America, like this is definitely, other than 9/11, one of the most profound things in the world that I have experienced personally. I will say a lot of people diminish this with talking about other bigger things like wars and more awful things like genocides. And that is not to discredit those things when I say like this is one of the biggest things we've been through. Obviously, like that's not my intention. But I do think this is a time where mentally there is a crisis happening with emotional health, not just like physical health.
Yeah, and you're one of the players in perpetuating the negative emotional health of people, I would say, allegedly, in my opinion.
With the entire world at the same time on the exact same wavelength, experiencing the exact same fears and situations. So like we are here as coaches serving through it. And I just want to give credit for that. We have made so much money just this year helping people with emotional health. Like seriously, every day in 2K, multiple people are posting that they have signed their first client.
Space Pastry, she is saying that, I guess this is during the pandemic, through the adversity that many people face during the pandemic, she has helped so many people make money and get rich.
made their money back, hit their first 10K months during a pandemic. To me, this is just it's like a really exciting thing to think about what we have done together. I hope you feel the same way.
Okay, but how many people didn't make money? How many people signed up for your program and did not make back their $2,000 investment? That's what I want to know, Stacey. When are you going to tell me your success rate?
I remember 100 episodes ago, thinking back to 2K, there were maybe 100 people in our group. And we were finding our way. Like, there was no 2K process yet. The program was changing and kind of reforming into something new from Diva Business School. By the way, shout out to Claire Byrne and Danielle Savory. They are heading into $2 million group, but they started before this 100 episodes when it was still the Diva Business School podcast. What? Y'all, a journey we have all been on together. And so
missed opportunity, Demi. Demi says, no wonder I'm not rich yet. I just played Roller Coaster Tycoon and all of its expansions for the first few months of the pandemic. I didn't join any coaching programs. You fool! You could be so rich. You could be joining the $1 million or whatever, the $2 million mastermind at this point. Missed opportunity. So many regrets.
You have gone from the podcast to 2K to 200K, or some of you even just straight into 200K from the podcast. Right? And our mastermind in 200K in 3 months, this last round, have created $10 million, not counting
Again,
my
this
revenue.
Is really interesting. Whoops. Richard says, whoops. Oh my God, I almost ended the stream, guys. Richard says, when we first started, it was a hot mess and 100 people were paying me. This is the piece that I was talking about earlier. It's like, when they're in the thick of not actually doing the thing yet, they're selling you on this idea that they've done whatever it is they want you to believe they've done. Only once they get past that into the next phase of their business do they admit, like, oh yeah, I actually didn't have clients, or I actually didn't know what I was doing, or I was actually like a bit of a disjointed, chaotic mess. They're not going to tell you when they're in it. They're going to try and sell you this like polished, perfect vision so that you buy into it. It's awful.
And after 100 episodes, my company, this year alone, we have made $6 million cash. 100 episodes. Like, the result of that value has been, for my business alone, $8.5 million in just 2 years. That doesn't even count the 3 years of multiple 6 figures and my 800K year that I was still doing Diva Business School podcast, which really blows my mind. Like, just this 100 episodes, $8.5 million. This feels monumental to me. So I wanted to do a special episode. Recently, I turned 35, and just a side note, I have been telling everyone, I'm 35, I'm skinny, I'm rich, I'm in love, I have everything I've ever wanted. We literally just paid off our house. What? I am in my calling. I am in my potential. I am spiritually fulfilled and grounded deeply. Like, I feel like for the first time, truly, I know me. I went through a little bit of an identity crisis this year and have been checking all of my beliefs. And I feel more than ever like I know who I am, and I am comfortable with me and loving me. Like, I'm better than ever. And I'm like living my life even in a pandemic. I have so much to celebrate. So I celebrated all weekend. I'm getting to a point, I promise. And I come back and I check the 2K page, as I do on Mondays. And my client, Maggie Reyes, y'all know how much I love her, had
Demi, get the puke bucket ready, because I feel like it's only going to get worse from here as she talks about how much everyone loves her.
posted in 2K telling everyone it was my birthday and asking everyone to write one thought about me that they got either from me or they think about me. And it was moving, to understate it. I cried so hard. I read every comment, and something occurred to me that inspired this podcast. I was so moved because the thoughts these students have about me, I was thinking, like, they have those thoughts inside of them. If they were able to think them about me, they can think those generous, wise, amazing thoughts about themselves. They can think that their clients think that about them. And then I started thinking about how each one of you would show up if you thought
Okay, this doesn't make sense. So she's saying that because her clients think highly of her, their clients will think highly of them. So like, I go to a service provider, I have a positive experience, therefore my clients must have a positive experience with me. That's not how things work. Otherwise, we wouldn't have people out in the real world who are complete assholes. Like, have you ever been somewhere and the person working at whatever service place you're at is just plain rude? That doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
clients, your audience, the thoughts that you think about me, about you. So I wanted to do this podcast and talk about the impact and the sheer power of your thoughts about your coach on you and on your clients. And I will share some of the thoughts they shared later in the episode. At the end of the episode, I'll share some of the ones that they said about me so that you can borrow them for yourself. Okay. I also think this is in line with talking about thought leadership, because my thought about my coach way before it really started embedding into my self-concept for me was she's a thought leader. Seeing her as a thought leader, an example to me of what is possible, is what allowed me to start believing I could be one too. How we choose to think about our coaches opens very big doors for us for what is possible. Or it closes the door for what we can get out of a relationship for ourselves and our life, and it closes the door for what we can learn and achieve. A lot of coaches don't intentionally choose their thoughts about their coaches. Like, this is what I find. They believe their thoughts about their coach are a circumstance. They're just true. Like, whatever they experience.
Okay, so if you weren't here last week, we went over the model, which was invented by Brooke Castillo. I say that in quotations because it's a knockoff of other therapeutic practices. Alas, that's what she's talking about here. When she's talking about circumstances, that's a huge part of the model. So go and watch that stream if you haven't already, or Google Brooke Castillo, the model, and it'll make more sense.
Is just true. Their opinion, their observation is just the way it is. Like, there's the way it is, and then they're observing it, and they're only observing it because it's the way it is. But really, our minds just tend to try to protect us by focusing on what can harm us, what we aren't getting, what we don't like. And our brains love to defer responsibility for feelings and results to other people. So naturally, our brain, left to its own devices, will often go to disempowering thoughts in coaching relationships. I kind of think about it like it's often the easiest for us to be the meanest to the people we love the most. So we're the meanest to ourselves and our spouses, usually. Like, our family will see the worst version of us. And it's like after we trickle outside of our family to like beyond even maybe our couple of best friends into acquaintances is when we start being nice to people, which is like the opposite of the way we should do things, right? Love ourselves first, love the people, our spouses, our partners, our close family, our best friends, like take care of all of those people first before we worry about what acquaintances on Facebook, how they're thinking and feeling, right? But it's just not the way our brains work because of the level of comfort, right? So I think what happens when you work with a coach is the comfort in the beginning. It's not always like that, but as you work with them, the comfort is so close, right? You are so close with them in a personal relationship that it's very easy for you to take your worst moments out on them and blame them and attribute your feelings to them, right? So I'll see coaches talk about their coaches saying, I'm not getting enough attention. No, this isn't what I need. She or he isn't giving me what I need. This isn't working. Like, or I would say in the most severe forms of disempowerment, what I've seen is she's just going to take my money. She's just in it for the money. She's using me. Now, I've had these things said about me. I have heard these things said about other
because it's true. Like, what in the gaslighting is going on right now? She's saying, if you feel a certain way about your coach, that reflects on you. Is that what she's going to say here?
Coaches who reach out to me to find out if I'm different than this other horrible coach they had. And I have seen these things said about my coach. Never from the most successful students, which I think is interesting, right? From the students who are getting what they came for. This always comes from the students who aren't getting what they came for, which always makes me so sad for them. They have a
Exactly. And that's why anyone who has ever critiqued the type of content that I make goes into what she's just saying here. Well, I'm only bitter because I wasn't successful as a coach. No, no, no. Just like Julia said in her comment right here, which, by the way, hi, Julia. She says, I honestly feel like so many coaches are so insecure because they subconsciously know this is all BS. The number of people I have seen say that anyone who critiques the coaching industry is just a jealous hater or was unsuccessful in coaching or didn't try hard enough. To me, it's like, no, maybe I'm actually taking a critical look at what you're doing and I'm making points that actually make sense to prove as to why what you're doing is not appropriate. But you don't want to admit that to yourself because you've so deeply wrapped your identity around who you are as a coach and as a person who is a coach. Just something to consider anyway.
Empowering thought that leaves them disempowered. And then from there, they can never create what they want, which is a business where they empower people. Because how can you empower people through coaching when you don't feel empowered through coaching? You have to be a product of your product. It's like, it just doesn't get simpler than that when it comes to selling. But
you can't ask for a refund if you didn't get what you wanted, because then your clients are going to ask you for a refund. Okay.
This is pretty common to see this type of thinking about coaches from coaches. And I also know this because it's very interesting when my students are so shocked when I over deliver, which I always do. But when they are like really shocked, like you can tell they're shocked, relieved, surprised, even taken off guard, it's because they were expecting to be underwhelmed. Their mind wasn't telling them that they were going to be taken care of. They would get more than they gave in the relationship. They would get 10 times the value, 100 times the value. And it's a great thing to not have expectations, right? You're way more easily blown away sometimes when you don't have expectations. But this isn't what I'm talking about. This isn't that.
I know. I wish I could get brainwashed so I could be a millionaire, but instead I think independently, and I realized some sketchy shit was happening, so I stopped doing it, and now I don't have any money. Now I can only make money. Someone actually commented this on one of my videos the other day. I think it was one of the ones about Brooke Castillo, actually. And they said, you know what's a scam to make money on the internet? Talking about people doing scams on the internet. That's the real scam, guys. I am the real scammer. I've been got. So this is it. This is the end.
More on edge, like distrust feeling that softens when I over deliver. Now, me over delivering is a bit of a C, like me going out of my way to intentionally give way more value than I charge for, but it's like one of those things, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? The value is seen as even greater when you approach it from that mindset always, right? This will be valuable. When your confirmation bias, your set of beliefs is based in your favor and your coach's favor, you will always get the best results, right? Because whatever we believe, that's the bias we have. Our brain looks to confirm that in everything that happens. So if we mistrust coaches and we believe that we don't get what they want, they just want our money and they're just trying to use us and they're getting rich off of us needing them, right? When we have those disempowering thoughts,
No, they're getting rich off of selling you on the idea that they have the secret to getting rich.
She's not giving me enough attention. She's not giving me what I need. I'm not getting enough. When you have those thoughts, if that's your belief, your brain just finds confirmation in every single thing. It's like, oh, this circumstance that happened. Yep. Bias confirmed.
Lisa says, we want to be a part of your scammer downline. Now, those of you in the chat, if you haven't heard, I have my own scammer downline, and you can join for as little as $3 a month. And inside, we're all becoming millionaires. Don't believe me? Ask the people in the membership. They'll tell you. And if they tell you they're not a millionaire, they're lying. I'm telling the truth, so listen to me and give me your money. Okay, that's the pitch for my channel membership. Thanks so much.
I'm not getting what I came for. Bias confirmed. She doesn't really care about me. Bias confirmed. She's only in it for the money. Bias confirmed. She doesn't care about me, right? That's what happens. But when your bias is like, my coach is amazing. She always over delivers. I always get what I came for. Everything that she does is an opportunity for me to grow. Everything she says is brilliant. Everything she says has more perspective than I have. I trust her completely, right? When you have those thoughts and that is your predominant bias, then your brain goes to seek and confirm that in every.
Guys, just brainwash yourselves. Duh. Oh my God. See, that's what I'm doing here. Yes, I say you're a millionaire, therefore it's true. Believe it and you will achieve it. End of story.
Every single thing that they do. I always get enough. That coaching was for me. There's plenty of her to go around, right? Like every thought, every single thing that happens, your brain is just confirmed. I have the best coach ever. Coaching is amazing. I love coaching. I get so much out of coaching. Confirmed, right? When you come to the relationship as your highest self, you receive the highest form of value from your coach. Let me say that again. When you come to the relationship as your highest self with bias, confirmation bias that serves you, that is empowering, then you receive the highest form of value that you could ever possibly receive from your coach. You come at 100% and you get 100%.
No, you don't. If what you were sold on is not what you get delivered, then you weren't given 100% of what you were promised. And that's the point here. So Julia says, gaslight yourself into thinking the $20,000 you paid is worth it. And I think this is a really important conversation. And it ties into what I was speaking about earlier, this idea with like how they gather testimonials. Well, they ask everyone for the testimonial when the people are still riding the high of the program. Once you're out of the program and you have some time to reflect and think critically, as someone else mentioned in the chat, you start to unravel and realize the fact that maybe you didn't actually get what you paid for. Maybe it wasn't actually worth the price that you paid. But she's never going to let you know that because it's not good for your mindset. And your clients are going to start asking for refunds if you start thinking like that.
Right? If you remember the podcast on 100% results, it's just like relationships too. I feel the same way about romantic relationships. Like I love how Abraham says in their book, The Vortex, you don't have access to your partner's highest self when you are not in your highest self. Like that was the most profound thing I took from that book and from all of Abraham's teachings really, is I don't have access to Neil's highest self when I'm not in my highest self. When I'm not fully in love with him, I don't have access to who he is fully in love, being in a relationship that has someone fully in love with the other person, right? So like I remember when I was kind of trying Neil on, that's what we do with coaches too. Wasn't sure if he was the one. And then I was like, oh wait, I don't know what he's like in a relationship when he's in a relationship with someone who thinks he's the one. Like how is he different when I think he's the one? When he's in that relationship, when we're both in a relationship where we believe each other is the one, I don't know what that Neil is like. I only know what Neil is like based on me not being committed and me not knowing if he's the one and me questioning if he's the one and me being undecided and me still kind of like thinking about other people or looking around at other people or wondering if there are other people out there. And he was doing the same thing, wondering if there was somebody else out there, wondering if there was a better fit.
And now they're getting married? Did I hear that correctly? Oh my God, what in the what?
And then when I decided that he was the one and decided to only have bias that confirmed that he was the one and he was amazing and he was so, I used to call him the hunk and he's so hot and he's so amazing. And I would only talk and say amazing things about him. I started confirming that everywhere. So I had access to his highest self because I was in my highest self. The same is true about our coaching relationships. Like, I believe.
How is she saying this and not realizing how messed up this is? Like, oh, I was only kind of into my boyfriend. You know, I wasn't really sure if there might have been something better out there. But then one day I decided, you know what? He's good enough. Okay, he's amazing. Oh, yep, he's amazing. I decided. What in the what are we listening to?
This so deeply about the client-coach relationship. We as clients have to show up as our highest self, and then we get our coach at their highest self in our mind and in our experience. But we only get it when we show up to the relationship as our highest self first. This is how I think about my coach, Brooke. So this is the coach I get in my mind when I get coached by her, when I learn from her trainings, when I see her coach other people, when I listen to her podcast. What I get is the best coach in the world. There's no one better than her. The quality of her coaching, the clearness of her process is above what anyone else is doing in the industry. The level of teaching that she does is far superior to anything I've ever seen. She is a thought leader and innovating and growing faster than anyone in the industry. I get that coach because that is how I see her. I am so profoundly lucky to work with her. Right? I think this is the best decision I ever made in my life for myself. I believe she's 100 steps ahead. So even if she makes a change in her business, her teachings, her philosophy, her life, I am always like, oh my God, I can't wait to learn from this. All of it. I remember when I first started $1 Million Mentoring,
So she just blindly follows whatever Brooke does, even if Brooke changed her entire business model to something that was even more sketchy than what she does now with like pumping out endless life coaches. You're just gonna go, yeah, well, I love Brooke, so I love anything she does. Like, sorry?
There wouldn't be weekly calls. We would just meet once a quarter, we make decisions, and then we coach ourselves on it. And at first, she didn't even want us working with other coaches either. She just wanted us coaching ourselves and then reporting back. And
Red flag, red flag. This is like when you have a partner that tells you can't talk to anyone else. Like, you don't need to talk to anyone else. I am your friend now. You don't have friends. I am your friend. Don't hire other mentors because they might be on to my scam. Only listen to me. Only listen to me. Enter the echo chamber. Let's go. Let's go.
And at first, my mind wanted to freak out. And then I remembered my thoughts that I choose for our relationship. I totally trust her. Her perspective is far greater than mine. She is teaching me something here. And she did. I taught myself something.
Gasp.
Something profound shifted at that level to take that level of responsibility of my self-coaching and my productivity and how I used my time between meetings, what I accomplished. If I hadn't had that experience, I don't think I would be the thought leader I am today. I don't think I would have learned to trust my own coach.
Anyone who calls themselves a thought leader, instant cringe, in my opinion.
And my own mind at that level. Like, there's a time where you need to be getting coached every week by someone who is where you want to be and you're learning their thoughts. And then there is a time where you start leaning on your own mind after you have developed it enough to support you. And I learned that deeply because I was willing to choose a thought that served me to be all in for whatever my coach offers me. Whatever I do with her, however it is set up, I know I will get everything I came for and then some, and it's exactly what I need. Like, y'all, these are the thoughts I'm choosing. Not, this is an experience that happened and I'm witnessing it and then reporting back the news, right? No, I'm collaborating. I'm co-creating in this experience of I have the best coach ever and I'm the best student ever and I get the most results ever. And because
if you are Delulu, it will become Tralulu. That's what we are learning.
as I choose these thoughts, I now have it in my experience that choosing these thoughts.
Oh, you decide. We're on a whole other podcast episode now. now we're just learning how to have good thoughts about our coach so that our clients will have good thoughts about us, because that's how it works in the coaching cult.
That I choose about my coach is available to my clients always to choose about me. I am always just offering my client a C, a circumstance to get to choose their thoughts about. I give them constant opportunities to choose thoughts about C's that empower them, empower our relationship, create our relationship, that allow them to show up as their highest self and receive me as my highest self. My coach Bev gave me a life-changing thought about any coach I have, actually any person I came across. And she gave it to me in the context of my relationship with Neil. But she gave me the thought, we are on the same side. When my coach gives me tough coaching, like when Brooke says, don't do that, when I have an idea that seems really, really, really great, I always think she's on my side. So I'm willing to look at the coaching. And when I'm willing to look at the coaching and how it's for me, not against me, I get it. I get something for me. My coaching is never for her. It's always for me. Of course it is. So I always believe my clients will do the work of uncovering how the coaching I gave them was for them. I always trust my clients to take as long as they have to understand the perspective I gave them. And I trust them to do that because I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take the time to figure it out. Because I have all these amazing thoughts about my coach, I believe my clients have these amazing thoughts about me. Because of how it feels to be in my coach's energetic space, I feel compelled to give that opportunity to as many coaches as I can meet and tell them who I am and offer to help them. They can have this experience too, and it's a wonderful experience. I want you to think about if you are having some disempowering thoughts about any coaches, but especially your coach right now. Do you feel compelled to pass that experience on? If you have disempowering thoughts, of course not. It's so hard to sell coaching when you don't have a compelling coaching relationship to be your baseline of that experience.
This is reminding me of the rhetoric that gets pushed around of like, you will only be successful as a coach if you also hire your own coach, because how can you expect people to invest in your coaching if you're not willing to invest in coaching yourself? Which again, to me, doesn't make any sense. In business outside of coaching, you sure can have mentorship that leads you on the right path, but eventually you got to figure out how to do it on your own. You're not going to pay for a mentor for the entire time you're working on building your business, or even if you're not like paying someone, but if you have someone who you went to for advice that's like teaching you how to start your business, they're not going to be there helping you operate the business 10 years down the road. So this idea of you need a mentor to prove that someone else should hire you as their mentor is something that we only see specifically in the coaching industry.
But you are in charge of that, which is the best news ever. Your thoughts about your coach are what help you sell your coaching and what make you have an amazing experience with coaching. I think about my work with my coach, Bev, and I think, she's such a coaching ninja. She's so good. She's always helping me be a better version of me. I'm a calmer human because of her. She's helped me raise my self-concept to $10 million. I get so much out of our coaching. I have this thought so often. There have been many times I get off a call with her and I'm like, for real, that call was worth the entire price I paid for her. Like paid to coach with her, to work with her. Like I just got $20,000 of value right there. And because I choose to think of each breakthrough being worth $20,000 and I really take that coaching and implement it as if I had paid $20,000 just for that one piece of advice, just for that one thought, I get so much value out of our coaching. It's
Wait. Okay, I'm going to say this because someone wrote a whole paragraph about me in one of my videos and basically said, I don't even know what coaching is because in a real coaching relationship, no one's giving advice. There should be no advice giving in coaching. And so for the record, I know what coaching is. What these people do is more like consulting because they're giving actual strategies and tips to do stuff. But I refer to the two terms sort of interchangeably just because coaching as an industry has become butchered, in my opinion. She just said that Brooke Castillo's advice is worth $20,000. Why are we giving advice if we're just supposed to be coaching? Because when it doesn't work out, your excuse is going to be, well, I'm not a consultant. I'm a coach. I'm not supposed to give you any advice. But now you're taking advice. Make it make sense.
Free. Like, I paid my coach $100,000 this year. I made $6 million, people. Getting fired up. Right? $20,000 thoughts are just thrown around all day long. Like, when people talk to me, they're always so curious how I get so much out of my coaching with my coaches. They're always asking me about the equation to get the
Well, yeah, obviously you can get a lot out from your coaching if you decide that every thought you have is worth $20,000. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
most out of the coaching. Like, how did I transform so fast and so deeply? And the answer is my thoughts about my coaching, my thoughts about my coach. It all starts there. You could have whining and complaining thoughts, and you can feel victimized, and you can think you aren't getting enough, or you can think only thoughts that feel amazing, inspiring, compelling, empowering, and full of growth. I've spent years
This is giving, oh, you're depressed? Just be happy. Oh, you have anxiety? Just get over it.
investigating this theory that I'm about to tell you, and it has yet to be proved otherwise ever. Years. So here's the theory: that I will never choose a thought that creates separation for me with my coach ever, no matter what they do, no matter how they show up, no matter what they say. There is no circumstance that they can offer me that will serve me to not love everything about them and be on board with every decision made. And so far, that philosophy has created $8.5 million in 2 years, $9.4 million over the last 3 years, and $10 million in my business in just 5 years. I don't ever worry about that thought causing me harm. I don't ever worry about trusting my coach implicitly taking me from who I am. Because if you remember, I'm celebrating 35.
This is insane. She's saying, no matter what my coach says, no matter what my coach does, I will follow her aimlessly because I have lost the ability to think for myself, and what she says is truth. And she is the real thought leader leading us other thought leaders on the path to millions of dollars. Like, no wonder none of these people feel bad about scamming people, because they don't even think they're scamming people. They think that, oh my God, I hate it here.
And I feel like I know myself more than I have ever known myself, been more clear about who I am, what I believe. I've never felt more at peace with myself, more in love with myself. I've never had more respect for myself. I've never been able to disagree with other people that I love and respect more deeply, and love them and myself deeply, because I'm so clear about who I am and why. I get the most out of my coaching. That is why I am where I am as fast as I am. And you can be there too. My most successful students, they are choosing these thoughts too, all day, every day, right? With just that one theory. I'm never going to choose a thought that creates separation for me with my coach ever.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so funny you wrote this down. Literally, I was writing down sound bites that I need to get, and that was one that I just wrote down. So that's really funny. This is absolutely wild. Julia says, my jaw is on the floor, yet it shouldn't be. I know. I'm just thinking of like people I know who are still in the coaching industry and some of the posts they make, and I feel like when I read them, I think this is really out of touch. But then I listen to this and I'm like, okay, it makes sense now, because they're literally in a cult where they think that all of this is normal and their leader is a all-knowing being. I can't talk. And that anything they say is right. Exactly. If you can't think for yourself anymore, like literally can't, that is bad. This is bad. This is actually probably the most like outlandish piece of content that I've reacted to on my channel. Like this is giving me like a visceral feeling. Hillary, you have ruined my life. I'm just kidding. But this is, I don't know what I expected, but this was not it.
No matter what happens. Never. Okay, so I wanted to share some of the comments from the thread that Maggie started in 2K. Now, you can listen to these as testimonials about me, and you will get a few thoughts. You'll walk away with, oh, Stacey's really great. Her clients really love her. Or you can listen to these thoughts as optional thoughts for you. And even more, as thoughts your audience is already thinking about you. Already thinking. That is the key. Try that on. Let that sink deep. If your audience is already thinking what I'm about to read you about you, how compelled would you be to get out there and find them and tell them who you are and offer to help them and more people like them? How much more motivated will you be to market your business and sell your offer? This is why I am endlessly selling and making offers. I just think all my clients think this about me and will have the opportunity to think this way about me and feel this way about themselves in a relationship with me if I can just get to them and introduce myself. Okay, so there were seriously 200 plus comments long. They were all amazing. I've chosen just a few, but it is not representative of the love that was given in that group. And there were so many more amazing thoughts. I could have literally done the entire podcast just reading them all. It's why I think 2K is the highest quality group you could possibly be in with the highest level thinkers because of threads just like this. Okay, so since it was Maggie Reyes's, how do you say Maggie Reyes's idea? Let's go with her first. All right, so Maggie Reyes says, so she had asked them to say their thoughts about me, right? But I have just said she, you can put he, you can put whatever, but I want you to consciously think about someone thinking this about you, okay? That what I'm about to read you is someone saying this about you. Okay, here we go. She is the best business coach on earth, and I am so grateful she was so fierce about following her dreams when it was hard so that she could live them now and help all of us. Lisa Sharp said, she knows what she's talking about. Just do what she says. Annie Henderson.
Oh my God. Just do anything she says. Even if ethically you're kind of like, that doesn't sound right. Ignore your intuition. Just do whatever she says. Okay, great.
Says, so many of us were feeling hopeless after months and even years of being unsuccessful. And then we found you. Thank you for making magic happen and for creating a ripple effect that will affect generations upon generations. Tammy Helfrich said, I have loved watching her commitment to growth. She has continued to grow and evolve and level up consistently. She is showing all of us what is possible when we truly commit to doing our own work. And
Hillary, is she going to read your name? I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? I would die.
A healthy way so that we can bring our awesome to the world. It is beautiful. Shonda Howard says, I love to think about your journey from 2 spoons to 2 million. It has helped me shatter so much self-concept that has held me back. I find sufficiency all day, every day, and it's changing my life. I want you to think about that. I really want you to put yourself and feel someone saying to you, you are changing my life. You are helping me find sufficiency all day, every day. Olivia Visacero says, my most practiced thought about Stacey is, she saved my life. I don't mean it in a hyperbolic way. I mean it with I hope I said that word right. It sounds like a word above my pay grade. She says, I mean it with every ounce
That sounds like a word above my $6 million pay grade. Blech.
of me. I will never be able to thank her properly. Again, I want you to imagine people,
Yeah, like what is the purpose of this? To like gaslight people into thinking you're so great and to believe that everything you say is truth, et cetera, et cetera. Where's the constructive feedback? Where's the negative? You know, like when someone leaves me a constructive or negative comment on my YouTube videos, I don't delete them. I just let them sit there. Like whatever, you can think whatever you want. I think it's important to have two sides to every discussion. Like this is just giving echo chamber like no other.
bring content, making offers, and people thinking, you have saved my life.
Exactly.
I'll never be able to thank you properly. Samantha Niven said, it has been an honor to find you and do life with you from here. My life will forever grow and be changed from your coaching, your program, and being the first coaching investment I ever made. You are an innovator, a leader, and a bold, fierce woman that is changing so many lives, creating hope and possibility for us all. I am grateful and blessed to have heard your podcast name as a recommendation over a year ago. My favorite thought about you is Stacey is unstoppable, and that inspires me to go after all of my dreams and goals, seeing you blaze that path. Again, I want you to even like try the different ways on that this can settle for you. I want you to imagine you saying this to you. It has been an honor to find you and do life with you from here. Like I believe that about myself at 35. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. Like it's an honor to do life with me now from where I am here. It is an honor. I want you to have that ability to say that about yourself, that your life will forever grow and be changed from your decisions, from the work that you have.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested in joining an echo chamber. I think it sounds like it could be kind of fun because I would never have to think my own thoughts again. Like, guys, I think I figured out how to cure my depression and anxiety. I just need to rejoin the coaching industry and listen to whatever my coach tells me as truth and not question it. It'll stop me from overthinking. Oh my God. Why didn't I think of this sooner? Thanks, everyone. You've just witnessed me. This is the end of my channel. It's been nice knowing you.
Done in investing in yourself, that you are an innovator, a leader, and a bold, fierce woman that is, or man, that is changing so many lives
Sad
and
fishing.
creating hope and possibility for everyone. Really think about that, taking that belief
Well, at least if her career as a coach doesn't work out, she could become an actress.
on for yourself. When you have these thoughts about other people, you can recognize them as opportunity to think that about you. Angela Robeck says, my favorite thoughts about Stacey, she genuinely loves me. She cares about me and wants me to succeed. She believes in me. She is a dear friend. She loves fiercely and openly. She is funny and real. Lucretia Simpson says, selling is
I would absolutely hope that none of my clients ever think that I love them. I enjoy working with them, but I don't love them. That's like, where are the boundaries here? Have we heard of this thing called professionalism? Don't know her.
coaching, and coaching is selling. She gave me permission to love selling, and now I do. Thank you for this gift. Without you, I wouldn't have become a full-time coach during this pandemic. I want you to think about who's waiting there for you to become who they want to be now that they have been faced with something they didn't believe was possible to happen in their lifetime, maybe. When all of their certainty has been rocked, you can be that person that says, had this pandemic not happened and had I not found you, I wouldn't be where I am today. That is available for all of your clients in the future because you show up today. Andrea Fleming says, Stacey is changing the world. She is revolutionizing an entire industry. She is a gift and an inspiration. She is loved and cherished. Andrea, you are loved and you are cherished. And I want you and everyone to imagine
No, Rosie, I don't love you. You are supposed to love me. Worship me. I am the leader. You are my downline. Join my pyramid.
Yourself, revolutionizing an entire industry. If you believe that I am doing that and I am capable of doing that from 2 spoons, why not you? Why aren't you capable
Exactly, Monica.
from where you are? Right? Remember me driving around the country listening to the Life Coach School podcast with a stage in my trunk smelling like onions and bleach? Why not you? You are revolutionizing an entire industry. All of you. Nicole Horlacher, I hope I'm saying that right, says she over-delivers to everyone. Literally thinks about us and not herself. Let that sink in. I want you to imagine if you believed that one about your coach. If you work with me or someone else, if you just believe I am always taken care of. My coach literally thinks about me and not herself and over-delivers every time. Imagine how much trust you would have even if you didn't understand a decision your coach made. Like sometimes I change up the formats of my masterminds or my programs, and you can see some people immediately get on board and they're like, this is going to be the best thing ever. I can totally see how this is going to be useful for me. I already figured out, I already had a transformation and a breakthrough about it. I 100% see how this is going to change my business. And then you have people that are like, oh no, I'm so sad. And who do you think of those coaches is going to get the most transformation and make the most money? It's going to be the person that's like, literally everything you do is amazing and it's for me and it makes.
Because success is only measured by money. And if you have morals, you're a big, fat fucking loser. Let me tell you.
Me make more money and be a better business owner. Everything. Even if I don't understand it yet, I'm really excited about getting to the point where I understand it. It's so easy to do that when your bias is that she over delivers every time and she thinks about me before herself, which is true. I teach my students not at the disservice of yourself, right? It's not about putting your clients before your own health and your own needs, but it is about not raising your prices so that you can buy a bigger house or take a better vacation, right? It's I'm going to create enough value that my price becomes the filter from the demand of how many people want to work with me and then becomes part of the up level of my own client self-concepts and identities.
I find it funny that she's saying this. Like, we don't base our pricings on, you know, the house we want to buy or whatever. And we do it based on the value. But then so many coaches will say, well, to increase more value, all you have to do is be more confident. And there's never actually a discussion about what equates to that increase in value. It ultimately comes back to how much money you want to make. Like, again, I've used example. I've exhausted this example 100 times, but you want to make $1 million. You want to work 1 day a week, 1 hour a day. You have to charge $20,000 an hour. That's what these coaches will promote. Not what, like, she's not telling the truth.
Right? Everything is for them. Kim Jarman said, my favorite thought is Stacey makes it so simple. When I read that, I thought, Kim's going to do so well in this program. If she believes the program is simple, think about how she's going to show up to every single thing she learned. She'll be like, oh, that's so simple. Great. More simplicity. I love it. Right? Everything she does. Versus when your bias is, it's all so complicated. Everything you encounter will need so much explanation. It will be so complicated and confusing and hard. And I see that, right? In my students who take the entire program and they never change the thought that building a business is complicated. And then everything about the process feels complicated and hard versus when people are like, oh my God, Stacey made business building so simple. Everything is so simple. Like our thoughts come first and then our experience happens. It's not the other way around.
The model.
And this is something I have to work on too. I get it. All right. Priyanka Venugopal says, she held space for me without even knowing me. That is one of the most special things. I want all of you to let that one especially deeply sink in.
Let it
You are
sink
holding
in.
space for people without even knowing them. And it is one of the most special things.
Okay, I'm actually going to see if I can. I'm just pausing it so I can write down the timestamp. I'm going to see if I can clip that directly from this podcast. Let that deeply sink in, guys. Let it sink in. Julia's asking if I've ever reacted to Amanda Francis. Okay, I actually have a funny story. Sorry. I'm gonna save my answer to this question for 3 minutes from now when we finish this podcast episode, but brace yourselves.
Kira Taylor says, I celebrate and honor her for being who she is and creating a program and a community that is changing the coaching industry, as well as the lives of her coaches and their clients. I feel truly blessed to be under her guidance, and because of it, I know my dreams are inevitable. Oh, so good. Ashley Frater says, my thoughts about Stacey are she is so honest and fearless. She makes things seem so simple. She is a bloody powerhouse that sometimes I don't want her to be right, but she is, and I should just do what she says. And she is so passionate about her work, but she never forgets where she started. How fun is it to be in a relationship where you believe that about your coach, where you choose those thoughts about your coach? It's so fun to have a coach who is a powerhouse and makes things simple and is honest and fearless and never forgets where she came from. And she's always right. Like, it's so fun for that to be your coaching experience. I'm always baffled when people don't have a life coach or don't want one. I'm like, what? It's the most amazing thing ever.
Joining a cult is the most amazing thing ever. You heard it here first, folks.
And y'all, these are just some of the thoughts. There were so many. So I really want to encourage you to imagine your audience thinking these thoughts about you. I want to encourage you to get intentional about how you think about your coach and really investigate how you show up when you choose loving thoughts about your coach. How much less volatile it will feel to coach others, to market, and to sell. And when you think coaching and your coach is just the best thing that ever happened to you, how does that make you feel? How would you show up? 100 episodes, y'all. I hope that you know how much I love you, that I am on your side, that I do only what's best for you. And sometimes that's doing what's best for me to teach you how to have that boundary. That I only want you to make lots of money. That is my only agenda. And be extraordinarily happy and at peace. And that I will never stop working for you, ever. And I will always over deliver. It's just who I am. Okay.
Great.
100 more episodes. Let's go. I'll see you next week.
I am so great and amazing, and I just loved spending the last 41 minutes telling you how amazing I really am. So you're welcome. Ugh, that was painful. I hate this. I hate it here. I always hate everything about this whole industry, but thank you all for making it a little bit more bearable. Now, let me tell you my story about Amanda Francis. So it's actually really not that exciting. I've kind of hyped it up more than I should have, so I apologize. Lower your expectations. Let's put the bar on the floor. And now let me tell you my story. So back, when was this? When did I go? I went to Ontario at the end of October. So back in like September, I put a hold on Amanda Francis's book, Rich as Fuck, at the public library here in Vancouver. And it came available mid-October alongside like another book that I was reading just for fun. So obviously I read like the book for fun first. And then I finished that book. I was leaving for Ontario, and I think I had to return. Let's say I got back to Vancouver November 1st. I don't actually remember the days. Let's say the book was due back to the library on November 2nd. So I was like, okay, I wanted to read this book so that I could react to it on a live stream. And basically, long story short, what happened was I was leaving for my trip. I hadn't started the book yet. I had to read it in that week that I was going back to Ontario. And I was too embarrassed to bring it on the plane because I didn't want anyone to see me reading it. Because without the context of like, okay, if people watch this video and they see that I've read the book, like, ironically, so I can react to it, that's different. But I didn't want someone in the airport or on the airplane to see me reading this book and think like, oh my God, this girl is such an idiot. So my own anxieties have prevented me from reacting to Amanda Frances, specifically her book. But if she has like a podcast or something, send me the link and we can react to that maybe next week, because I'm always like just trying to figure out week by week what we're reacting to. In other news as well, I sent Tom at Reaction Therapy over the Brooke Castillo model, and he's going to get back to me with his availability so that we can react to the model specifically together. He said he was very interested in doing that on a live stream. So if you're not familiar, Reaction Therapy is a registered psychotherapist, and him and I have done a live stream together where we react to life coaching content, and he points out the flaws from a professional perspective. So I want his opinion on the model because, again, I think it's just a ripoff of CBT. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I don't blame you. I was like, I cannot read this book in public. And then I thought about putting like a cover over the cover, but then I was like, Danielle, this is too extreme. So, but the thing is, I guess this is like the cusp of the story, is that the wait list to get this book is always so many people long that I'm like, okay, well, if I put another hold on it, it's not going to be ready for like another 2 months. So maybe I'll put another hold on it today. But in the meantime, we can react to like her podcast or whatever. Get a Bible book cover. That's a good idea. Oh, you have a course. We love that too. Love to see it. Exactly. Like, I don't want people to think I'm an idiot. So I didn't want to read it in public. I'd rather read it in the privacy of my own home. I'd be the same with my Tony Robbins book. Yeah. Or maybe I'll just get the audio book and just listen to that, because no one can know what's in my ears. Oh, God. This is too good. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me on yet another Snark Fest. We love to see it. I use Kobo so people can't see what I'm reading. Most of the time I'm not embarrassed, but in that case I was like, I can't do it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to give the stream a thumbs up if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And tomorrow, Coachmas Day 1. If you're not a member on my channel, you will have access to Coachmas Day 1 tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. So stay tuned for that. I know some of you in the chat are going to know some of the people in the video. So please don't name names, but we can all chuckle together. I appreciate you all so much. Take care. Comb your hair. Let me play the outro, and we'll call it a day. Have a good night, everybody. Goodbye.